Hey you guys, it's Anne Marie. Where are my glasses at? Okay. How's everybody's day going? Well, I'm at work. I can't believe I've been up since 5:15 this morning. It's now, not 4 yet. And so I have a few minutes before I go in. And I'm looking pretty rough, but, it is what it is. And what's funny is I only had 2 hair ties. And when I was at the open shoulder today, I was like, ooh, I found another one. And I was like, oh, good, I'll have 3. Well, then my red one broke. So I was like, perfect timing. But anyway, so yesterday I was starting the Alchemist over again, right? And I marked some very interesting pieces. And I actually just wanted to share a couple of these with you. I don't have it in me right now to do a reading, and so unless I have the energy to do that, I'm not going to do it. So I wanted to share just a few excerpts with you guys that were pretty profound. This is in I think this is page 9 of the foreword. So a lot of this stuff may not make sense to some people. It's going to resonate with a lot of people, these different pieces that I've underlined so far. So on the ninth page of the foreword, it says, "And my heart and soul is your heart and soul. I am Santiago, the shepherd boy, in search of my treasure, just as you are Santiago, the shepherd boy, in search of your own. The story of one person is the story of everyone, and one man's quest is the quest of all humanity, which is why I believe the Alchemist continues all these years later to resonate with people from all different cultures all around the world, touching them emotionally, spiritually, equally, without prejudice." Then it goes on to say, "I feel happiness, too, because I know I can never be alone. Wherever I go, people understand me. They understand my soul." Okay. I'm trying not to cry, because it's just been a very emotional day. I hate to say the word emotional. It's been a very feeling day. Okay, so then on page 9, it says, "And he knew that shepherds, like seamen, like the traveling salesman, always found a town where there was someone who can make them forget the joys of carefree wandering." There's always going to be someone that's going to try to stop you in your quest. It's my little tidbit there. And then it goes on to say, "They trust me," and he's talking about his sheep. "They trust me, and they've forgotten how to rely on their own instincts because I had led them to nourishment." Don't forget about who you are, no matter who's nourishing you, unless it's you. Okay, and page 15. Something that stood out, "A dream in the language of another world." So this was when he went and saw the fortune teller in the town. And she said to him, "You came so you could learn about your dreams," said the old woman. "And dreams are the language of God. When he speaks in our language, I can interpret what he has said. But if he speaks in the language of the soul, it is only you who can understand it. But whichever it is, I'm going to charge you for that consultation." That was the main thing. All of us readers, we can give any messages, but it's only your soul that's going to resonate with what is meant for you. Okay. So, and then we go on to page 20. It says, "It describes people's inability to choose their own personal legend. And it ends up saying that everyone believes the world's greatest lie." "What's the world's greatest lie?" the boy asked, completely surprised. "It's this, that at a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate. That's the world's greatest lie." "Well, that's never happened to me," the boy said. "They wanted me to be a priest, and I decided to become a shepherd." "Much better," said the old man, who was actually a king, "because you really like to travel." Okay? So I got so many amazing things. Okay, and then so we're on page 23. Make sure our time is good here. Page 23. "I'm the king of Salem," the old man had said. Why would a king be talking to a shepherd? The boy asked, awed and embarrassed. For several reasons, but let's say that the most important is that you have succeeded in discovering your personal legend. The boy didn't know what a person's personal legend was. There's a key there. You know, kings, queens, gods, goddesses, those are mortals, but immortals, they're not gonna, people don't come in the way people assume that certain people will come and look like and be like. They come in all different forms, shapes, from all different worlds and spaces unknown. Page 24. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream. He's talking about when you're like how amazing it is to be a kid, to find your personal legend and what happens as adults. At this point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn for everything that they would like to see happen to them in their lives. But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them that it will be impossible for them to realize their own personal legend. That's what happens to a lot of people. It's a force that appears to be negative, but actually shows you how to realize your personal legend. It prepares your spirit and your will, because there is one great truth on this planet. Whoever you are, or whatever it is that you do, when you really, really want something, it's because the desire originated in the soul of the universe. It is your mission on earth. Yes, or even to search for my treasure. The soul of the world is nourished by people's happiness. The soul of the world is nourished by people's happiness. And also by unhappiness, envy, and jealousy. To realize one's personal legend is a person's only real obligation. All things are one. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Now we're on I'm going to wrap this up, page 25. The old man pointed to the baker standing in his shop window at the corner of the plaza. When he was a young child, the man wanted to travel too, but he decided first to buy his bakery and put some money aside. When he's an old man, he's going to spend a month in Africa. He never realized that people are capable at any time in their lives of doing what they dream of. The man continued, in the long run, what people think about in the long run, what people think about shepherds and bakers becomes more important for them than their own personal legend. Because the boy was talking about, well, I'm a shepherd and I get to travel and do all kinds of things. And the king was like, well, people aren't really, shepherds are like not considered a great thing, and not a good choice of, a life. And what kind of woman's going to want to marry a shepherd, right? So this is what, it's talking about when we get to be adults, we start judging people based on what they do, right? Judging them, what they kind of car they drive, what they look like, what they should look like, and how they play you when you don't have those things or they think you don't have them. That's how these magical beings pop up in people's lives, not to judge people, but to see how you're going to treat them. And so, he went on to say, because you are trying to realize your personal legend, and you are at a point where you're about to give it all up. And then we're on page 26. And that's when you always appear in the scene. Not always this way. The king was talking about how he just appears when people are getting ready to give up. And that's why he appeared, because this boy was getting ready to give up on his dream of finding his treasure. Not always in this way, but I always appear in one form or another. Sometimes I appear in the form of solution or a good idea. At other times, at crucial moments, I make it easier for things to happen. There are other things I do too, but most of the time people don't realize that I've done them. So he's talking about this miner. And this miner he walked away from everything to find emeralds, right? And I think he was mining for like a couple years. And he was getting ready to give up, right? So the miner was about to give it all up, right at the point when if he were to examine just one more stone, just one more, he would find his emerald. Since that miner had sacrificed everything for his personal legend, the old man decided to become involved.